welcome back to Northwest Propshaft YouTube channel. Today we've got a Ford Transit Propshaft problem, we think, obviously. So let's go and have a look. Wonder what that is. So there's a bit of a noise coming from it. We think it might be in the tube. It sounds weird. It was a clicking noise. Got a lot of diff movement. Universal joints okay. So look. Looks alright, doesn't it? It's just one of the unpainted Transits that we get in. For some reason, Ford don't paint them all. They come out of a factory in Turkey. But not all of them come out painted. So just do simple checks. Check the centre bearings. There's no excessive movement really, but we're getting a funny ting. So we'll just push it forward. We can hear a bit of a noise. There we go. What's that? It sounds like we've got something inside that tube. That's really odd. Right, off the prop shaft comes and we'll check out, see what it is. So we undone the back bolt just so that we can spin the shaft, and let's have a look at this. It sounds like there's something very, very big inside the prop shaft, which is very odd. But we wouldn't have seen that without at least undoing the prop shaft. This is where sometimes mechanics might do it right and might not. If they've got enough time to undo the back shaft, they might have done this, but not all will, just because of time. Now we have got a funny little mark that, if we can see it there, that. I don't know why that would have that sort of... so something's been catching there. Why is that there? So we think something inside here, inside this part of the shaft, there's a bush in here that locates, a locating pin that locates it onto the gearbox properly and keeps everything running central. Now, maybe somebody's had this prop shaft off, maybe it's had a clutch, maybe it's had some work done on it, and that bush hasn't been put back in correctly, and it's been forced inside the prop shaft, so that bush is now rolling around inside the prop shaft. But same thing again, let's take it off, let's have a look. I'd just like to say happy birthday to my little boy Buddy, who's 8 today, and if you'd please like and subscribe for Buddy, just ring that bell, that'd be brilliant. Thank you very much. Okay, so the prop shaft is off, and this looks like it's the problem. Somebody has had this prop shaft off at some point, or something's happened, and they've felt they'd need to take it off. Don't know why, we can't see anything obvious. I've spoke to the customer. Customer's never had a clutch done, never had any gearbox work done, so we don't know why this has been taken off. So obviously there's a big chunk of this, or the back of this, inside this front section of prop shaft here, which is causing the rattle. It also looks like it's been glued on. This is this blue glue is a glue that we use like a nut lock by Loctite, so it looks like somebody's glued it on. So we'll just have a look at this, show you where this fits. This fits up here, and you can see there, let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more. You can see there where the where it's been glued on, and the piece that we're seeing inside is going to be this. The locating pin that's supposed to stick out about 30mm, 35mm has snapped off. So that is inside the gearbox. So this isn't really a Propshaft problem. This is going to be more of a gearbox problem. So we'll check the Propshaft out, we'll speak to the customer, and we'll see what he wants to do. So we'll take the Propshaft into the workshop, have a run through it, see if we can get that little piece out and fix the Propshaft. We'll take the Propshaft off, we've got it in the vise. We're just going to take this rubber off because we've seen something else while we've, and you can just about see it on the video here. Oh, if you look here, there's a funny little gap. What's that gap all about? So I think somebody has had this prop shaft off for some reason, put the prop shaft back on and not tightened the bolts up properly. So this prop shaft here has been rotating and banging. And because it's been rotating and banging, the pin that sits inside the location, the pin that sits inside there, has snapped. So if we can just see it a little bit better, this is a bit telling. So we're just going to take this off and have a quick little look at it. But I think the customer's got a few problems here now. So obviously repairing the prop shaft can be sorted, but he's going to have a look at the gearbox. We don't really want to be putting that prop shaft on that that vehicle really with a bad pin. So we'll just take this off. And there we go. So that's supposed to be a nice, perfect round hole. And look at the state of that. And the bolt that goes in it, look at the state of the bolt that's gone in it. So yeah, somebody's had this off. Somebody's not put it back on right. At some point, it might not be recent. It could have been a while ago. It looks like it definitely not going to be recent, and not fastened it back on properly. So it's caused this elongation here. So this rubber has been twisting like this and moving backwards and forwards. And because it's been twisted and moving backwards and forwards, the pin that locates in here, so it should be a nice pin that locates in there, has been moving. So it's been moving like this, and you can see how it's pressed against the steel here. So with it not being centralized, the pin's been moving like this, or the prop shaft's been moving, and the pin can't handle it, and then all of a sudden, boom, the pin snapped, and the rest of the pin is going to be inside here. So it's inside this prop shaft. So the big tinging that we could hear before is that pin inside there. So we're going to have to see what we can do now. So that's a new prop shaft going on it. By the time we've changed the universal joints in it, changed that front section, changed the centre bearings, there's a lot of work on that, especially with that front end being like it is. The way that TING in Turkey designed these prop shafts, they're not easy to replace. So with the amount of work that we've got to do, it's going to be easier to replace the prop shaft. So we're going to put a new prop shaft on this, just because of what's happened, and all from a little tinging noise, which is surprising. So we'll just have a look back underneath the vehicle, and I'll show you what we're doing with the gearbox. So there's the gearbox. Just zoom in on it. So the pin's been removed. We've checked the flange. We've got to replace the pin and the washers. We've just got that flange in there to stop any liquid coming out of the gearbox. Maybe a little bit of oil would drop out, so we're going to replace that. That's on its way to us from Ford at the moment, because it's a Ford only part. And all of this, so new repair to the gearbox, which we don't usually do. We're only doing this because it's a bolt-on, bolt-off, easy thing to do. We're only doing this because the customer needs this vehicle out, and we couldn't put a prop shaft back on this vehicle without it causing a problem. So if we put a prop shaft back on this, we'd risk it ripping off when it left here. So we're not going to do that. We don't want that to happen to the customer. Also, it's really hard work to get something recovered from here to a garage. So for something like this, which is a relatively simple job, we'll replace this in the gearbox for the customer and get it sorted so the customer can be back in and out within the day. which pretty quick, really. But all this from just a tinging noise, just a little tinging noise, and people say it's just a universal joint. It's just a tinging noise, and that tinging noise has turned into all sorts. You know, it went into a garage to be checked out. The garage didn't notice it purely because, as we've mentioned several times already, to take a prop shaft off a vehicle and check a prop shaft on a bench isn't something that a lot of mechanics are going to do, and I don't blame them whatsoever, because it just ties up a ramp completely. You can be an hour and a half, 2 hours for nothing whatsoever, and it's really hard work to tell a customer, oh, that's going to cost you whatever your ramp time is, 60, 70, 80, £100, no matter what you charge per hour. It's really hard to tell a customer, I want X amount of pounds, and you've not actually done anything. And it does happen. Mechanics will put up with it, and they will do it sometimes. But a lot of mechanics now know that their specialism is being a mechanic, a general mechanic, not a specialist like prop shafts or like gearboxes. So they will send you to a prop shaft or gearbox specialist, hopefully. A bit like GPs. They know a lot about a lot of things, but when it comes down to specialists, they send you off to somebody. So it's great that this garage, I don't really know who it was, I didn't get the name of it. It's great that the garage have said, look, it's out of our realm, send it to Northwest Propshafts. And they've brought it in, and we've been able to sort the problem out and do it, hopefully. So we'll, once the prop shaft is made, we'll get it all bolted back on, show it you all in place, and then it'll be ready to roll. So the one thing that we need to take from this more than anything else is the fact that a prop shaft, when it's on the vehicle, you can't tell what's wrong with it. You've not really got a great idea. So it might be a universal joint, might be a centre bearing, and all of a sudden it could be a gearbox pin that's broke, like that. You don't know until the prop shaft's off the vehicle. So if a mechanic tells you it's this, this, and this, just ask the question, have you taken it off the vehicle? If they say no, then you can take that with a guide. That's a pinch of salt. So it might not be that's wrong with it. It might be something else. But it's very hard to give a price or get a price of somebody when the prop shaft hasn't been checked properly. So get your mechanic to take it off the vehicle, or send the vehicle down to us if it's a commercial vehicle, anything like commercial, from Mercedes Vito, Ford Transit, up from there. The only thing we don't take in is cars. So any light commercial vehicle up to heavy commercial vehicle, send them down to us. We can have a look at it for you if you're unsure. But please don't take it as being gospel that what your mechanic tells you is going to be what's wrong with it, without you having taken the prop shaft off the vehicle. So that's the end of another YouTube video. Thank you very much for watching that, and remember, please like and subscribe. And if there's anything that you would like to ask us, or if there's any other sort of video that you'd like to see, then please let us know. Thank you very much. Bye bye.